What it is, world, man. It is world's best host, yours truly, E.T. locked inside of the Galaxy right now. How y'all feeling out there today? I don't know if I told you guys earlier, man, but I had to get the mayor. I don't know. I think he's past the mayor now. He's like the president.
No, the mayor. I'm gonna stay the mayor.
You gonna stay the mayor?
I'm waiting further. It's gonna be even more. It's too much.
It's too much.
Yeah.
JD.
Yeah.
Mr. Jermaine Dupri.
What up?
Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Before we get into the Super Bowl conversation stuff, let's just talk about the fact I was talking to you off the air, and I said, you know how people in hip hop, we always have these conversations, who was who in the hip hop industry, who did what. Who did this? Who did that? And I had brought your name up, and I said, "Hey, man, how come people always leave Jermaine Dupri out of the conversation of what he has done in hip hop?" And I think it's because, and I could be wrong, but my perception is this: it's probably because you've been so successful in so many other genres, pop, R&B, some rock, and hip hop, that people kind of exclude you from the hip-hop culture because certain people have only been successful only in hip-hop. Do you feel like you get left out of the hip-hop conversations when it comes to what's been done?
I think it's really weird because we're from a place where when hip-hop came from here, I was one of these people that got all of the credit for bringing people to Atlanta,
right?
This, that, and the third, and all the kind of different conversations. But as hip hop has grown in the city, it turns into basically like how any other city has.
Right.
Yes, NWA was big in LA, and they did what they did. And Dr. Dre is the godfather of West Coast rap.
Right.
But when they go to West Coast now and talk to people, they talking to Nipsey and they talking to
right.
YG and this, that, and the third, and you don't really hear the Dr. Dre name come up. Still, nobody sold more records than Dr. Dre. Nobody's done records bigger than him in that area. So I feel like it's just a wave of how it actually moves.
Right.
I don't think they deliberately try to leave me out because if they, because once the conversation, somebody was having this conversation yesterday about this whole king of R&B thing, and it's like, well, why don't they talk about the producers, and why don't you ever throw your hat in? And I'm like, I'm not getting in this conversation. But the person that talked to me about it was like, well, do people know that nobody in R&B has more number one records than you? And I don't know if people know that.
But I think we live in Dave Chappelle said this in a comedy skit. He said this era that we live in is called the age of spin, right? And he was basically saying that we're in an era where numbers do lie, and information is so, you can't trust anything.
Yeah.
It's just so much information, you don't know what's the true information.
Yeah, numbers definitely lying.
Yeah. So people don't research no more. They just take it off of they take it off the feeling of whatever they feel is the truth, and they run with that, and they don't search the actual truth.
Yeah, like I said, I don't get into it because I feel like, at some point, in any time you have this conversation, you're gonna get stuck with me in some kind of position. Because if you just talk about people that have touched multi genres,
yes,
that's the whole thing about the whole Songwriters Hall of Fame. Like me going into the Songwriters Hall of Fame and being the first person to actually be in that room from this genre, let me know, how different I am and how much of a different person than the Songwriters Hall of Fame been going for 50 years. They haven't had a person in that room that had written a R&B, a pop record, and a rap song.
Right.
They never had nobody in the last 50 years in that room. Now it's open. You know what I mean? Jay-Z won the first one, but he didn't get a chance to go to the actual event because he was having his twins. I was the first person from the hip-hop world to actually be in the room amongst all of these other songwriters. So once that happens, it's just like buying a car. You get the car, you get the car first. They gonna come out with modifications for the next person, and then it's gonna seem like you just got a little test.
Yeah.
So I'm the tester. I'm the guy that I'm walking through the door first. So.
But you know what? Saying all that, man, and having all those awards and information that you're just saying, you deserve certain titles because you've earned it. We're in an era now where you give yourself the title before you've earned anything.
100%.
And so and then when you it's always funny to me when people get called out, right? the response to getting called out from anyone of any age, it seems to me, is the response is, oh, you're a hater or you're just old. And it's like, how, even if someone is a hater and even if they're old, if they're speaking facts, how does that change the fact that you're wrong? Like, I don't understand that thinking. And what is so wrong with just saying to somebody, look, these titles that you give yourself, you actually have to earn it. And a lot of people don't understand the information. Like when Jacquees called himself the king of R&B, it was funny to me because he said Chris Brown's out of his era. I'm like, do you know how eras work? It's 15 to 20 years. Chris Brown's like 5 or 6 years older than you. He's definitely of your era. So you might not know that because he's been around for so long. It might seem like he's longer than you, but he's just been popping longer than you. But it's kind of funny to hear that. And then I think he didn't Jacquees DM you about doing music?
Yeah, he hit me. But you know, like Jacquees, my homeboy. You know, I'm talking on his album that he put out.
I did. I heard it, and it's actually riding, by the way.
Yeah. So you know, I don't have a problem giving Jacquees a record, and I posted it. I posted it because I wanted people to see that he wasn't just saying that and not understanding that he has to come with the ammo. You know what I mean? I feel like him calling me and saying, JD, I need a song, is him understanding I'm trying to load up. If these dudes want to fight, then at least I'm gonna have this ammo.
I need some ammo from somebody that knows the game.
Yeah, I need some ammo. So I mean, I feel like he made, you know, calling me, it's a couple other people out there he can call to make the right decision, to make the right album. So yeah.
So now let's get to this another issue though. The Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I did not expect. Okay, when it was announced that the Super Bowl was going to be in the ATL, let's start from there.
Yeah.
Everyone threw out their ideas of who they thought should be on the Super Bowl, right? No one, and then I remember the conversation with me, DJ Scream, a couple of people up here were having. It was like, you know, who could do this, who could do that. The first thing everyone said was Outkast, right? Everyone is just dying to see an Outkast reunion.
100%.
And rightfully so. We understand why. And then all of a sudden, we were talking about this, and we're talking about that. Well, who could do it? Who couldn't do it? Could this artist go on there? Are they big enough? Are they worldwide enough to be on there? Those were the arguments. And then we got down to Jermaine Dupri. And I remember before you were announced as the master of the ceremonies of what was going on with the artist, we all unanimously agreed, like, yo, JD could do it. And the reason why we thought that was because of your writing credentials. You've written in hip-hop, you've written in pop, you've written in rock. You could literally bring all of that on one stage in Atlanta so that every person, whatever their genre of music, when they come to the Super Bowl, is going to have something or somebody to say, I like that.
Yeah.
And some of the artists that are already on there are who, though?
What, that's on Super Bowl
with you that you have
at Super Bowl Live?
Yeah.
Well, see, let's make sure we get understanding of
Educate
people that's not listening, so you understand. I'm not doing Super Bowl halftime.
Okay.
Anybody that keeps sending messages saying I'm a sellout because I'm doing halftime, get your information right. I don't have nothing to do with the Super Bowl halftime show. I don't know. Last time I heard Maroon 5's performing, and I don't know anything else about it. I'm doing a show called Super Bowl Live, and basically it's just live entertainment during Super Bowl weekend.
Right.
The city of Atlanta, what people don't understand about the city of Atlanta is a city where they will throw a party in Atlanta if it's snowing.
Right.
If we get 20 inches of snow and it's never happened before, Alex Goodwin would have a party called the biggest snowstorm in Atlanta party, hosted
and it will be packed.
Yeah,
and girls wear tight dresses with no panties on.
So I'm saying Atlanta is this is the city that I come from. This is what I come from. This is what the city is now. And you know, the people that's coming to this city, that's coming for Super Bowl, they are gonna have to be entertained in some kind of way. They're gonna be in town for more than, 3 to 4 days. The Super Bowl experience is just not enough. So with all the entertainment in the city, it was decided that we should put up Super Bowl Live. They do Super Bowl Live in every other city, but it won't be like this one because Atlanta has so many artists. So the difference with this is that I decided to also make Super Bowl Live be all Atlanta artists. And nobody performing will be anybody from outside on my stage.
Right.
Everybody performing on my stage is going to be from Atlanta, from the country artists to the rock artists to the pop artists to the rap artists.
They're all from Atlanta.
Yeah, everybody's from Atlanta.
Now, why why were you getting this backlash? What were people saying about you as far as the Super Bowl part? Because I seen you post that. I was like, yo.
I'm getting backlash now. I kept one now. I wanted to bring this one here.
Oh, you about to read it?
Yeah.
DMs exposed. Scream, where you at, bro?
Yeah, right now. It's a guy that just hit me.
This is a prime example, though, of what we talked about before about the misinformation and people just running with it. They don't look into nothing.
So, first of all, a girl called me. She called me a coon. She said I was a coon. I've never been a person to stand up for black rights. And, so continue on with your coonery. Then this other person that's from Atlanta said, this lady, I really want to address her. Her name is Baby Tush. She said, bruh, just admit you need the money and keep it pushing. No need to blame other artists for your decision. Now, the problem I have with this is that, for one, people think Jay-Z's boycotting the NFL. He's not.
Right.
That's not a boycott, by the way. It's not a boycott.
Right.
And then two, I don't think people even understand what they're supposed to be boycotting. Right?
No.
Because people are mad at me because of my involvement with what they believe is Jermaine's involvement with the NFL, right? And that's what they're saying. But then Eric Reed, who is Kaepernick's main homeboy, who actually was the person who kneeled with him.
Right. Is back playing with the Panthers, right?
Played football last night, if I'm not correct.
Yeah, he played with the Panthers.
Last night, he was posting cleats. I mean, he plays every weekend. So I'm just trying to figure out how Jermaine Dupri became a coon, how I'm opportunist, and how I'm all these other things when Eric Reed is in the NFL and he's playing. Does he get a pass and I don't? What's going on? So I'm confused on what's supposed to be the boycott.
And also, what is the end goal? The boycott, true. What is the boycott? That's one question.
Yeah.
The second question is, what is the end goal?
Well, the end goal, I don't think anyone knows what the end goal is. I just think that I feel like it's really hypocritical, because I'm gonna say this: the one girl that called me a coon, right? She came on my page and she said, continue on with your coonery,
right?
And so I went to her page, and soon as I got on her page, the first post she had was a Saints post saying, "I'm so glad my team is playing this good." And I said, wait a minute.
Right.
Hold a minute. So I'm a coon, but you're watching football and you're supporting the NFL.
You're giving them ratings.
You're doing exactly what everybody's trying to avoid from happening. This is what people think is happening with me. And I want to just be clear and let everybody know. The host committee for Super Bowl, the Atlanta host committee for Super Bowl, they are from Atlanta. So that means when the Super Bowl leaves Atlanta, the Atlanta host committee has nothing else to do with the NFL or anybody else. These guys,
they're just the host.
They live here in Atlanta. That's it. And all they wanted to do, and just as me as well, is to make sure that we give our city the best shot and look at this opportunity of all of these people that's coming to town. Right. It don't have anything to do with any players. It don't have anything to do with kicking a ball or catching a ball.
Do you feel like you even have to really justify that, though, bro?
Because I believe that people are, I think people are very ignorant to the fact of just how our city moves. You know what I mean? Like, you got to think about it like this. I've been in Atlanta before this radio station was here,
right?
When hip hop would only get played
at night time,
a couple of hours on a Friday night,
right.
One day, right? So Atlanta is a city where if you're from here, you didn't even expect the Super Bowl to even come to this city. If you're from Atlanta, you didn't expect half of these people to even be here. We always looked at Atlanta like we was the city that's been fighting to get respect. We've been fighting for people to treat us like Chicago. We've been fighting to get people to treat us like LA. We've been fighting to get... So from our standpoint, we happy to see people coming to the city. And that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. We're not it's not an opportunity. We're taking advantage of opportunity and running with it. It's about us.
I know
happy.
what you mean.
We're happy to make sure our city looks the way we are and how we feel about Atlanta.
I just personally don't think it's something you have to justify or explain.
I don't.
And hear me out when I say this shit, homie. It's just when you have to, like, you don't, like, for example, it's like having these groups, right? It's like 400 million people in this country. It's like a group of like 100,000. Kiss my ass.
You're right.
Like, I'm not acknowledging you because you sent 100,000 letters and there's 400 million people in this country. Kiss my ass. You and who joins a group? Get out of here. Like, go do something with yourself.
No, you're right.
And then making the arguments stuff like that. Now, I can understand if it's something you did was very egregious and, oh my God, we gotta stop this stuff real quick. But you've been calling yourself the mayor of Atlanta for a long time, and you've earned that right. Deservingly so. You're doing the NFL Live, not the halftime show.
Super Bowl Live, not even NFL. Don't even say that.
I'm sorry, Super Bowl. Super Bowl Live.
NFL name is not even connected.
Right.
It's a Super Bowl Live.
Super Bowl Live.
Powered by Verizon.
Right.
It's not powered by the NFL. It's powered by Verizon.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like I said, I don't have a problem making sure people understand, because people don't have a clue. You know, like I said, there's people that come on my page and they say you're tripping for performing at the Super Bowl, and I reply back, did they send you my invite to perform at the Super Bowl? Because I sure didn't get that.
Right.
You know, I just don't think people talk these days.
And they run with their feeling versus the facts.
Yeah, they don't know what they're talking about. So, right. I mean, I'm not mad at even addressing it. And I just don't, it's certain things I don't play with. It's certain things I don't play with. I don't play with people sending me messages talking about, like unappropriate messages about being a child. What did somebody call me?
They really going in, bro.
Yeah, they be saying that, and based on me doing the rap game,
right?
You know, like he likes to play with children. Like, don't play with me with that. I'm not with none of that conversation,
right?
And if you wanna get me started at talking to you, say some stupidness like that, because I'm saying, like, those type of conversations go into a direction where, when certain people listen to them, it can get you jammed up. And if you don't speak up about it,
right, their lie can turn into something that's
if you don't speak up,
a big ball of non-facts.
Yeah, if you don't
but they're
gonna
run with their
stuff,
feeling.
It'll turn into something. And I'm just saying, I don't play with that. And then people started saying, you're being disrespectful to the black race. Listen,
my God,
we're not playing. I'm not playing with that either. You know what I mean? I'm not playing with that either. So if that's how you feel, then I'm going to address it, you know?
Right. Now, speaking of the rap game, let's talk about that. This is what, the 5th season?
Yeah.
And it's coming up, and it airs, January 10th?
January 10th.
And where's it on? Is it on Lifetime?
Yes, Lifetime.
It's Lifetime, man. So I'm happy to I think this is like my 3rd or 4th season to be on there. I want to say thank you so much for that.
Yes.
It's always an honor.
It's going to be the craziest season, by the way. Just being here, we had, that day when we was here.
Yeah. We was here a couple of days. Remember, I had a big argument.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I can't wait for y'all to see this. But we had a real incident that, like, first time ever on the show, where one of the moms had an asthma attack or something while we was doing showcase at this station, and she went to the hospital while you was interviewing the kids, and it was like a crazy situation that happened. Like, right after we stopped filming, I came out like, what, and people was running around going crazy. It was really a crazy situation that we were still on the stage while this was happening.
Okay.
It was a wild situation because one of the parents almost, they got so sick that they almost had to stop. And it's like a real situation. It's not like, you know what I mean? Some people be making shit up for TV. Excuse me.
No, you good.
But this was a real situation that we had to deal with. So this season's gonna be the craziest, I think.
Not trying to be funny, and please, I hope no one out there in the world thinks I'm coming across as very arrogant. I've been asked many times because to be on different reality shows. One, because when I go to clubs, I always walk in with a bunch of girls. It's like my thing.
Okay.
I don't walk in with no dudes. So I've been asked to be on these Love and Hip, all these other reality shows, but they always wanted you to come with this scenario. Mm-hmm. I don't do the scenario, and I'm not going to say which producer or which person had a conversation with me a couple of times, but I told this person directly to their face. I said, listen, I have a career. I have a job. The moment you edit something in a way I don't like, I'm from LA, homie. I'm going to get on the air and be like, that's that bull. I didn't do that. And you're not going to like it. Yeah. And the reason why I always enjoy, and I text you about doing your show, I really feel like it's a real reality show based on reality style living situations that are not scenario, made up. Oh, you got to say this and do this. Just because it's not written doesn't mean it's reality.
Yeah, I mean, what I try to
I really feel like it's real.
Yeah, what I try to do with the rap game, I want these kids to understand it's a real world outside of YouTube. It's a real world outside of SoundCloud. It's a real world outside of Instagram. And that real world is if you bring to a radio station and someone like yourself don't like the artist or you want to ask a question, I don't tell you. I want you to feel a certain way when you interview these kids, and whatever it makes you do, you do it, and let's see how they move away from it. You know what I mean? That's a real test. That's not about, like I said, it's not. I'm not informing them before they come in here. The only thing I'm telling them is that you're going on the radio. This guy's crazy, and he'll say anything to you. You should be prepared. And if he tells you to jump and you feel like jumping, then jump, right? So that's the only thing I tell them. And if they fall short and they can't deal with it, then they can't deal with it. And we have seen, we've seen the pressures and we've seen some rise.
I've broken a couple of them down before. I think it was like season 2 or 3. I think it was the white girl. I broke her down really fast. She was really upset with me. She gave me the nice middle finger in the freestyle. Yeah. But a lot of that, I am very brash and blunt about what the things that I say and feel. But it comes from a perspective of, you got to remember, as an intern, you see me come up as an intern. I had to be impressive in front of Jermaine Dupri, in front of T.I., in front of, people that looked at me that still know me to this day. So when someone comes in here and they've got this idea already and it's like, you haven't even earned. Yeah. I'm going to call you out because there is no age in this business, because it's a business first, then it's feeling second. Yeah. And so I'm a little rough with the man, but I want to say salute to you, man, for being part of the Super Bowl. That's a real big deal. I think it's a lot of respect that it goes your way. And y'all need to start putting Jermaine Dupri's name when it comes to the hip-hop and what he's done for this game. I know he's written for a lot of other people, too. Oh, I have one last question, man. This is my last question. And I was saving this question for you, bruh. So, since, Justin Timberlake came in and did his thing, are you going to bring out Janet for the Super Bowl Live?
Oh, no.
Come on, bro. You got to bring her back. They brought him back.
From Atlanta, by the way.
He ripped the titty out. He ripped her titty out. So they brought him back.
I'm sticking to this guy. You got to be from Atlanta. If she was from Atlanta, then maybe. But
oh, my God, man.
I'm just bringing out Atlanta artists. You know what I mean? And I saw somebody say something crazy about that, too. I want to make sure, like, we have to support Atlanta, right? And what I mean by that is that to have these big records in these different eras of time is not easy. Like, people keep treating these artists like having big records is cool, and then we let the artists disappear and you don't hear from them no more. But we can't treat our artists like that, because we're a city that's been going for almost 30 years at this momentum, and it's a lot of records that got us to this space in Atlanta. Right. And I'm speaking of one of the groups that's gonna perform on the stage, Tag Team, and they're gonna do Whoop There It Is. And for Super Bowl and for this type of weekend, this is like probably one of the biggest songs that you could ever have, where cross demos, everybody knows. Right. White people, black, Chinese, everybody
knows the record.
Be able to be in this park for free and hear some music that they actually really, really know. They ain't just got to go to Compound and hear. They ain't just got to go to these, this club to hear. These are records that are super mainstream, probably bigger than the records that we have on the radio today.
Right.
And these are the type of people I'm saying I don't want to forget, because these guys helped make Atlanta what it is today.
That's the truth right there, man. Yeah. Well, JD, man, I ain't got no more to say to you, homeboy. I'm just glad you came by, homie. Cleared a lot of air up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when I hit you, man, you responded so fast. I was like, he got a lot of Anna on his chest, homie. He want to get this itch off.
No. I mean, I really want to make sure that, like I said, I'm excited for Super Bowl. And like I said, I used to sit in College Park and dream that people would talk about this city and come to this city and have as much fun as they're having. But at the same time, coming to this city and forgetting how much music is coming out of this city and what's making this city what it is. Because we also in this battle with musically, I feel like now, where people starting to talk about, just because all these movies getting made here, now Atlanta's like the new Hollywood, as opposed to being, let's not forget, I said it's the new Motown of the South.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the new Motown.
I think what they really mean is it's just adding flavor. But I will say this, though, to the artists out here in the ATL, man. When y'all come to me and y'all at these college parties, y'all artists don't understand the conversations that the labels have with us before y'all get a deal. Because they don't tell y'all that they come and ask ET or that they ask other radio stations. The people that matter, they don't ask everybody at these stations, because they all don't matter. Everyone has different levels. You know what I mean? Your pen game and your producing game is at a different level than this guy over here. So you're going to get asked a question. You know, you're both producers, but you're at a different level. You feel me?
100%.
And what bothers me, honestly, is like when I see an artist get big out of Atlanta or in the Southeast region and they go to the West Coast, New York, they run to New York for an interview first. Then they run to, and I'm like, and then they call us second. I'm like, who do you think was supporting you in these clubs? Yeah. Who do you think was the one that when, you know what I'm saying, like that was sitting there backing y'all in the conversations? So when they call, I'm a dick. So I'll be like, no, I don't want him. I'm cool. Next. The good thing about Atlanta is there's so many berries. I'm like, okay, you've turned rotten. I'll pick another one.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you said that.
Because I wish that it pisses me off. You go run the Flex, and I know you ain't gonna agree with this, but y'all go run the Flex, and then Funkmaster Flex disses y'all or gives y'all a whack ass interview, and then and downplays y'all so much. But most of the artists coming out of there are like, you know, Southern flavor guys. And then they sit there and then they want to run back to Atlanta like, no, I'm cool, bruh.
But see, that's
give
what
it to them first. Go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. You just said I was not going to agree. I was going to agree with. Listen, I don't agree with. I agree with what you're saying, 100%. That's why when you call me, I'm quick to take the call. I want to rewind when you just said. I picked the phone up so fast. It's not because I have anything to get off my chest. It's that I feel exactly what you're saying. I'm from Atlanta, man. Atlanta should hear what I got going on first. Atlanta should see what I got going on first.
Yes.
And I don't think people understand that. I don't call myself the mayor of this city and go to New York. I call myself the mayor of this city and come here.
Yeah.
I call myself the mayor of the city and go support the mayor. I call myself, you have to do what you
have to keep cultivating your home.
Yeah. So I mean, as far I know totally what you're talking about. It happened to a lot of artists out here that where they and it's because they moved to the beat of their record companies. So I don't fault them. The record companies don't understand that. A lot of record companies only understand, hey, this their blueprint. Take you to Flex, take you to the Breakfast Club. Right. Send you to L.A., Power 106, and that's
we have plenty of formats here. We have plenty of blog sites. Y'all act like the internet doesn't work work slower out of Atlanta than anywhere else.
Yeah, they don't know.
It's the same thing here. Like, I don't understand. The write-ups are the same way. We got the same iHeart stations. I don't get it. And then y'all buzz comes from here. Who do you think they call when they say who's the next hot person?
Yeah.
We damn sure ain't calling them.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, that I'm with you on all fronts of that. That's why when everybody called me to do something in this city, I'm right there on the spot to try to make
I got that shit off my chest, man. Check my drip, homie. Hey, man, JD in the building, man. You guys keep it locked right here.